Okay, so it's wet and raining, but what is going on out here? Guys, don't know if the sounds on the mobile is up, but what are they doing just over there? Like, I thought the noise was coming from the place opposite because they're always making noise there. Which I would go out and show, but I'm not properly dressed. But now they're doing this noise with a great big, can you see it there? A great big orange, it's just the plane going over. A great big orange, they're completely digging up the entire front of the place and making all that noise with it. I don't know if it's coming out, but this is in rain too. Like, as you can see, the ground's wet. It's been pelting rain for days and months, really. It's unbelievable that whatever time of day or night I seem to be up, it's always raining, and very bad rain at times too. But that's just another element of this matrix. But as you can see, like, what are the odds of an entire place being demolished straight in front, work being done where they're, as you can see with a great big whatever it is, you know, where they're digging up the entire ground, like all showmanship too, I might add, and the place right next door completely demolished, and they're going to build you know, a boarding place there. So that's like 3 lots of work, like, surrounding me, like 1, 2, 3. Like, what are the odds? And don't forget that they demolished a place just on the other side before that, and that they're always doing little bits of work in most of the houses that are surrounding me. All I can say is, oh, they are actually going to do work in that place opposite, because I can see the doors open. They've got a little portable toilet in the front there, and there's a fellow lurking in front. It won't come out in the mobile because I don't want to go out onto the street to show it, but they are. Can you see it? It won't come out because I haven't even got the door open. This is just, I've stopped doing these videos actually, but I just decided to film it anyway. But oh, a little birdie there in the rain. I'll just show the birdie. But oh, no, see, there's the fella there. See, that's a truck there, and they're doing work there. And look what they're doing here. I'll just show you quickly because I don't want to go out. So look at that. What are they doing? I mean, where do they get the money from? Because that's not a real big place. I don't think it's even a full place. I think it's like some sort of duplex. I mean, it's not real, let's face it. See that fella there? He's going into the place opposite. They're going to do work there too. So, and right next door here, not here, but just right next door, they've demolished the entire place. Of course, the plane's always going overhead now too. But, what are they doing? Like, that is just, they're just pulling up the entire front of the place, and they've got work going there. I mean, it's just not credible, I don't think. And the whole place demolished there. So what I'm saying is, if they're not doing it here or there or there, they've got some racket going, or some noise which is low frequency vibration, which brings a human being right down every day. This noise comes right inside the house, so it's not like it's just that you know you're surrounded. It's like you're aware of it wherever you go because you hear it. So it's a complete mind control, spiritually repressing matrix, and it is about I don't understand it fully, but it's about, well, I kind of do, but at the same time I'm not going to say that today, but it's like, it's just about the vast majority, or at least the vast majority that converge around human beings, because, you know, they like, this is this whole area. So you've essentially got like a total control, suppression of real people who are in very small numbers. surrounded by large numbers, the vast majority and more than the majority in this particular suburb, that just converge daily around particular people for their own reasons. And, you know, it's obviously about the difference in the types of people. That's what the conclusion I had to come to over the last 5.5 years. It took me quite a long time to realise that, because I wasn't, I never thought about different people or about anything past the real world. And I thought everything was real and normal and natural, you know. Obviously you have your problems, but you don't think that everyone that is around you is part of a systematic control system against you. You don't think that. And, you know, I don't want to sound, you know, like some people do sound important about that, as though it's something, but it's just that if you don't talk about it, they keep it up, and they keep it up anyway. Like, it doesn't matter that I'm talking about or making a video. No, it doesn't matter. But, you know, what else can I do? You know, it matters not really. As you can see, there's someone in the place opposite there. They can make noise there. Can you see that? It won't come out, but because that truck's been conveniently parked there, which doesn't even belong here. None of these vehicles belong, and that's another excuse. They're bringing all these, you know, like most of the vehicles that come onto the street don't even live in the houses. It's a small dead-end street, and they just pile on, even though it doesn't look like much. Like, it doesn't look, see, there's no cars coming on today. They're not going to show you that they normally have cars going up and down, but that's because they've got the noise going, you see. Well, actually there is one coming on now. See, look, right in front, as usual. See, what are the odds that every time I come out, the car pulls in on front in that place opposite? You know, like, that looks random and normal. See how they look so innocent? But I mean, the fact is, they only do that. They can do that every time I come out. It's always, so it's like, you know, like if I didn't open the door, you know, like, why aren't those people complaining there about all that noise that's going on right next to them? Like, that's because they're all part of it. That's what I'm saying. That's what my conclusion is, because, you know, like, if this noise was real, normal people like myself would be complaining. I'd be able to go out there and say to people, like, isn't that noise that's coming from all these work unacceptable? It's not necessary to make that amount of noise. And they would complain about it because it is unacceptable, really. Especially when they go with the machines and things, which they're not doing at the moment. They've just got that digging thing, but even that you can hear inside the house, because I thought it was coming from opposite, and yet it's coming from further down. You know, and I'm so used to noise, so it has to be to where they make it a bit louder. Probably won't come out in the mobile, but it comes into the house, and you cannot have any peace. Sometimes it's really mentally disturbing. Other times it's like, well, most of the time, even if it wasn't like that noise is not to where it, like when they have the mechanical noise, to where it just goes through your head, and it actually can cause mental disturbance. That is just more like its presence, but it's not invading your eardrums, you know what I mean, to where to where your ears are sore, type of thing, and to where it I can't explain it, but you know, you might understand what I mean. But it's still to where you know that it's just there around you, so you know it's not even legitimate work. I mean, I know it is legitimate work that they're digging up the place, but all these things are just stage setups around. I mean, for all I know, there could be a practical side to it, in the sense that if, you know, the controllers are living in the houses, whether it be permanently or temporarily, you know, they're not going to say no to them creating a total free garden for them in the front of their place. So whichever way you look at it, it doesn't matter. But all I can say is that the fact that you see all these vast renovations going on, which you never saw in the past, every day, you'd have to say people wouldn't even have the money for it. But of course they don't need to have the money because it's provided to them, because they're part of this control system. So it's like a benefit, and I would think, because I can't get anything done in my place. I can't even ring up at the moment. The whole doors fell off to where I could have water in my bedroom even, and I can't even make the phone call because they cut the phone. The phone's working, but I can't get through to the normal departments, and I've rang all over. So you see what I'm saying? I can't get even anyone to fix anything. Because I'm here on my own and don't have any support, and because I can't get any real people to help me, because there are not many real people in the area. There may not be, hardly be any. And even if I knew that there were some people that I might think, it's not like they're my friends or my relatives or close enough to where you can get help. You might say hello to some people even, but they're not going to be a support for you. What in the hell am I going on about? I better fold up. I'm so sorry. I shouldn't have said that. See, I've never looked at this sort of stuff ever in my life, and this just come up on the TV while that noise was there, so I clicked onto it, because I think everything comes to me, like information. And I don't know where I fit into all of this. I only know that I seem to be not part of this control matrix. See how the plane's going over while I'm saying that? And so therefore they come against you. Even though I don't really, in the past and even now, I don't hold strong views about anything. I'm only looking at this for the first time right now as I'm filming it, so I don't know. I better turn this off actually, because I could be up for copyright, because you're not supposed to film music or probably even the videos. I didn't actually realise that, although I am talking. But that just come up while I went out when I heard that noise. I'm not going to pick up the mobile every time there's noise, because it's basically every day. It's just that when there was a different lot there, I just thought, oh well, it's just trying to prove that there is a systematic noise frequency vibration setup. Bird is twerping loudly while I said that won't come out in the mobile. A systematic twerping as I'm about to say it really loud. I can hear it. Won't come out in the mobile. But a systematic, trying to concentrate, a systematic control you know, at a sound which is a frequency or a vibration level, because everything is frequency and vibration, we know that. So sound is a frequency and vibration. It vibrates through the air, you know, even a dodo like me can comprehend that. And it hits your ears, which then is received by your mind as either a negative or a positive frequency, or a reaction, or a human reaction to that, if you want to put it like I would probably say. You know, everyone knows if you hear a really loud, aggressive, technical noise, it is very disturbing to your mind, because your ears take it in and then your mind is irritated at the very least by it. You know, it could drive someone crazy if you were put in a room all the time where you had extremely loud, unpleasant noise. And that's what I have around me all the time, day in and day out. Even though it looks like plausible reason, so there's nothing I can do about it, because I've got to live in my house and I've got to go then down the road where they have all this systematic noise going on too, whether it's people in the park with the lawn mowers or the wind blowers that are charged up to make much more noise than what is necessary. You know, they're much louder than what they used to be. That is deliberate, so that you hear it. And sometimes it is so loud that you'd think if there were normal people around, they would complain, because it's not even good it wouldn't be good even for the wildlife in the park, for that matter. I mean, it's supposed to be a green area where they care about all this. It's all fraudulent. And what I'm saying is one thing contradicts the other, everything they do. But they're in that park every day, whereas in the past, they only used to do that sort of stuff once every 2 months, where they are in there with a brigade of men, like not just like they used to just have one older gardener that used to do the entire park, and he used to do other places as well, so he wasn't even there most of the day. He was only there for a certain amount of time, then he'd come. Whereas now you've got these continual bringing trucks in there daily with huge numbers of supposedly gardeners or work people. You know, they never used to do that. That park doesn't require that amount of maintenance. It's just a park. Most of it should be left fairly natural, you know, apart from maybe the grass. It's not real. But if you just look at it one day, people would say, well, that's just the day that they happen to come around and do some work in there. But they're actually doing it daily, or most days. And if they're not doing that, they've got some other work going on in the houses as you go past, or digging up all the street. Every street in Leichhardt has been dug up. They've always got all these, work things around on the street. It's been going on for years. It wouldn't be possible that in a small suburb with a limited number of streets, that every day after all this time, wherever I go, there is still these workmen around doing what appears to be work. You just don't dig up concrete day in and day out on the same streets, and yet that's what they essentially do. But if you just went there one day and I showed, it just looks, oh, well, that's just a day that there's some problem, or they're putting new concrete down. How many times do you put concrete down on a street? Most of the time you wouldn't do that probably even in 30 or 40 years. Maybe even longer, I don't know, and yet they're doing it week in and week out. It's not plausible. But anyway, I better fold this up. I haven't got space to put, I can't even put this video out at the moment because it won't download, because this is a different mobile. You know, it's actually a new mobile, and yet I can't actually download the things. I can, record it, but I can't download it, not at the moment, even though I should be able to, because it was set up that way. I don't understand those things, but anyway, I'll just have to keep trying. Maybe at some point I'll get someone to be able to show me how to download it if I can, but I don't know. This is interesting. I just don't know what this is. That's interesting, because I always say the God of this world. I just say I hardly ever use a name, because it's a technical being now. It uses technology, but it is the controller of this matrix. See, this, I don't even know all this stuff, but it's like, I don't know. They use different titles. That's what I say. It all depends on which way you look at it. But this is just something that's going on for about 40 minutes or something, and I just clicked on it because it come up on the thing. But it just was explaining how, I thought it had a reason to explain how the, yeah. Because, it explains, like, the reality that we have what appear to be different types of humans in the Earth matrix. But this is all because it's so advanced that I can't comprehend it, because it's all become technical, because the God has become or is technical, and of course I don't even understand that, because we tend to think of humans a certain way. But a technical human looks exactly the same as what I'd call a real spiritual human being. I only know that there must be differences because of what I personally experience. Otherwise, I would just say they're just different types of personalities of people, which we would acknowledge. And don't forget, we all have many sides to our personality. Like, none of us are, pleasant all the time, nor could you hope to be. And that, of course, is the design of this matrix, is to keep it so I don't feel pleasant. So therefore, when you become angry and unhappy and resentful and all those sorts of things, which is what the technical beings experience, because they don't experience the higher vibrations of the more emotions of feeling good. They only feel negative and bad most of the time, So therefore, that's just finished actually. So therefore, that is a technical being. That is an artificial life form, or one that has become that, because they only desire control and power over real life, because they have resentment and anger towards what appear to be the same life forms as them, because don't forget, we're all in human form. What I experience around, if I look out there at the artificial ones doing work, they smile and they talk and they are more pleasant than me, even though they are using machines that make aggressive, loud noise. But most people would say, well, that's legitimate work. So therefore, if I'm saying that they are negative technical beings deliberately enforcing negative sound vibration onto me to bring me down, so that I am operating in the lower frequencies like them, so they keep control over the matrix that way. If you keep control of the real life positive human minds, or those like myself that don't want to be negative all the time, I don't want to live where I feel angry, controlling and destructive all the time. I just can't live that way. I don't think that way. That doesn't give me satisfaction, whereas it gives them satisfaction because they're an artificial being. So you've got to comprehend the differences. It's like the differences of what makes people tick. And until you realise that and you experience it, see, if I didn't experience it, I would understand it because I did see that in people. But I didn't think it was a whole control system. I didn't think it was every person. I thought it was just a limited number of people who tend to be more of the psychopathic, what we call the psychopathic type personality. But that is very negative too. No one wants to be living near or having a relationship, if possible, with psychopathic types of people, do they? No, because those people, you know, will eventually have a negative effect on you, one way or the other. They could even totally destroy you if they are really negative, but mostly if they can get away with it. Obviously, because we live in this fake matrix where, when I say fake, I mean everything is fraudulent, so everything is glossed over as though it appears to be a positive human world, essentially, or at least that's what everyone pretends they're striving for. But in reality, the technical beings pretend to strive for a positive, natural, healthy world, but they actually don't. That is their facade to trick real human beings who can't live negative all the time. We all experience negativity, but it's not our goal to be like that all the time. It's intolerable to us, whereas it is home for the technical beings. They don't like the positive energy. It's poison to them, just as their negativity is poison to us, if it's in large amounts. You know, we can all tolerate a little bit of negative things, and that's part of life, or part of the matrix, really. But in reality, when they come down on you, it becomes your whole life. And why this has happened is probably because if you take it from a spiritual point of view, I suppose I'd have to say it's because, you know, we have made too many mistakes. So in other words, I'm guessing you've either made too many mistakes, so therefore you have descended almost into low frequency yourself, which is what they want, or you have the potential for going to a slightly higher vibration, and those around you see and sense that, and so they come down to make sure that you stay where you were, which is at a lower frequency, depending on how low it is. I don't understand these things, but obviously they don't want anyone combining with others to elevate the frequency of this reality, because that would be an uncomfortable, undesirable situation for them. But also it would no longer be their domain, you see. I guess. I think that's how it works. Okay. I'm sure I'll figure it out one of these days, but essentially that is how I observe it and experience it. But it's hard to put into words. I better fold up. I won't even probably put this out because I can't put it out anyway, but I just wanted to film it in case at some point in the future I'll be able to download it. What the point of me doing it is, I have no idea. Probably totally pointless, but I got a mobile and you can press a record button, so that's what I do, and that's just all I can do, and there's no point to it, but it's just like a record of it. Whether it will ever be anything, probably not. But, you know, you do feel as though if you can't tell anyone about it, I can only do that. But I will say that it is important, probably, even if I can't do it, that other people who are real people are aware of this situation, that they are being surrounded, even if it's not apparent to them. Because the only reason I know it is because it was made apparent, because when they sense that you might be trying to be more positive in life, even if it's only just because they're very conscious of the vibration. Because you might say, well, look, it wasn't like as though I was going to do any big deal, but because they are very negative beings, and because it is the end time situation, they are going for total control. So, like I say, even someone like myself that does very little, they don't want to see you even walking outside your place feeling even mildly comfortable. That's what it's come to. Especially if you're deliberately trying to feel better, because you're trying to look for something that makes you feel a bit better in life, because otherwise, you know, you do feel as though this life is not almost worth anything. And that's exactly how they want you to feel. And that's exactly how you do feel most of the time. You know, I have to force myself, but the more I force myself, it's not 100% real. But, you know, as a human being, even planes going over, but even as a human being, most human beings will see something that pleases them, even when the reality is negative, even if it's only for a split second. But they try to stop you even from that split second of going outside and saying, oh, it stopped raining today, the sun's out. And that's what it's come down to. So it's pretty poor, because there should be a lot more for human beings. But like I say, I don't understand it. Maybe there's reasons for that. Maybe when you make bad choices, then it can be an invitation to allowing these ones to take over your mind and your reality, because you have either done something that is low vibration type of thing, I would imagine. That's how I see it with myself, because I have done low vibrational things. And then immediately that is like an invitation to the negative artificial ones to come in and take over. But maybe it's both, because I'm only thinking over my own experience, you see. But maybe they're like, oh, well, you might have done something negative, but you did it because it was the only alternative, or it appeared to be, and therefore you were looking to better your lot. But maybe it was a wrong choice or a right choice, but you still was trying to make your life better. Now, whether you're meant to do something negative in order to make your life better, it's very debatable. See, even I'm just confused. As you can see, they got me in a mess, in a double mind, to where I shouldn't even be analysing it, because, well, you have to. You are meant to, I think. But either way, you're forced to when it comes down like this, you know. I mean, when you hit rock bottom, you're either forced to figure out why that's happened, or you just wallow in it and go down in the matrix. Or the rain's coming down, but as you can see, look at that. See how the rain is coming down out there? But they will still be out there working in the rain with mud and slosh, which in the past they wouldn't do that, you see. I'm sorry if I'm shouting, but I've got stuff in my ears because I don't want to be disturbed by the noise. Can't stand that presence, you know, because when you know you're surrounded, it's not very pleasant, as you can imagine. It's psychologically not pleasant, and it's physically not pleasant. But, so that's why I'm shouting. So I probably sound confident, as though I'm on top of it, but I'm not. But I'm just shouting because I'm stressed. Oh dear. Sorry about that, I tripped over something. Plane's going over, but look, the rain's coming down, and yet they're still doing all these work out in the open out there. This would not happen in a real reality. The same if I went down the road. You know, you will see them doing things that in the past they would not do that type of work if the weather was wet. The same as you wouldn't see them in the park doing work in the park, which you now see them doing it with their machines and things, you know, in the rain. Which is just not real, because they don't care, you see. They're not doing it for that purpose. They have to be, if you are out in the rain or if you go out at a particular time, they have to be there to do that, to keep you down. That's what it comes down to. Because in the past, it just wouldn't be realistic that you would be doing the sorts of activities they do in the bad weather. Look at that, that rain is coming down. I could go out the front and open the door, but I'm folding up instead. Okay, sorry.